Alright, Gatos. Looks like Ludwig made another video. He's commenting on why everyone is quitting on YouTube. I have some ideas. I think I know what he's going to say, but I'm interested to hear his comments as a YouTube creator himself and see what his thoughts are.
Because we're saying goodbye to one of the GOATs. You've definitely heard the news by now, but MatPat has announced his retirement from the Game
Yes,
Theorists.
we talked
And here's
about
him in his
this,
own words.
and this
We
is
knew that we couldn't do
heartbreaking.
this forever. We knew
Heartbreaking.
that honestly we didn't want to do this forever.
And he talks about how the work-life balance has been less than ideal, and he's devoted the past 13 years of his life to game theory, and he wants to start doing new things. And
each
he's
with a video a week.
Having game theory running with
That's insane to me. That's insane to me. Like one really banger video a week times 4 means I'm surprised this guy, he probably dyes his hair. So I'm surprised we don't see more white hairs. But he probably has to dye his hair because of that. And then I'm surprised, like if you look at his earliest content or with his little PNG that he uses to comment on videos, it's like looking at a boy versus a man. Like I realize it's been like what 10, 15 plus years for this creator, but it's interesting to see because it's like he aged so much in such a short window, in my opinion.
New hosts, and it's kind of cool because there will be 4 people replacing what he used to do by himself, which just shows how much of an institution he was. Now, quick aside, this is just a little conspiracy theory. This was his 666th YouTube upload. I feel like MatPat wouldn't be someone to not know that. I don't know, maybe, okay, but
He's
I
do
think it's real.
He's a 5 head.
This isn't just him retiring. There's been a trend of YouTubers retiring over the past year, really. And even in the past couple of months, there's been some huge names. People like Stampy in his Lovely World Minecraft series. It's came to a close.
And who knows what's going to happen next in our lives. So, for the final time, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.
And it's not just Stampy. We obviously saw Tom Scott last week.
Tom Scott, that was huge. That was huge.
This project has worked, and it's time to move on.
Even Jerma. Jerma has announced his retirement. I don't know if people know, but it's a soft retirement. He still streams sometimes, but here he is.
This being a streamer is going to turn into a hobby for me. While I work on other stuff, other things in my life, obviously like off-brand. You saw the Doug thing. That's I'm doing a lot of that right now.
Wow.
And we have to ask ourselves, why? Why are all these people retiring from YouTube?
Yes.
One of the dream jobs
Ludwig?
that many people want to have. And I think the answer is twofold.
Okay.
And I think the first part is they're not actually retiring. Like in the traditional sense, they're not retiring and going to play golf like a 75-year-old every weekend.
They're just not gonna post
and not do anything
not as
creatively.
often.
They're all still outputting. They're just now outputting the thing that people know them for the most. Like Tom, for example.
This probably isn't goodbye, like not forever. The podcaster house, Lateral, is still going out weekly.
Podcast,
newsletter is still going out. The Plus channel will probably return at some point. There'll likely be new technical difficulties.
Did you see that, like, or have you noticed the trend that a lot of creators are now doing podcasts? Because, like there's quite a few now. Like, I mean, H3H3, like, his podcast is enough to, fund his empire. Like, Asmongold has a Steak and Eggs podcast. He's got his podcast. Hassan has his own podcast, and then what is his friend Maya and Cutie Cinderella? They have their podcast. Like, I feel like them shifting to podcast is, I feel like all this shifting is probably because YouTube doesn't pay like it used to when it comes to videos and views. Like, you used to get 1 million views and people are like, you've made it. Like, you've made tons of money. And now, like, 100,000 views, that doesn't get you very much. I think Royal Skies showed us that his channel's popping off pretty good. It's not one of these top tier channels, but he showed that if he worked at McDonald's as much as he put into it, he'd be making more money working at freaking McDonald's. So there's that. So that's one of my conspiracy theories. And then also, yeah, the podcasts, they can be paywall gated, so that you have to subscribe to a Patreon or something that gives them more monies directly per view. So yeah, I think it's about the time and money, whether it's worth your time and money. I feel like YouTube videos aren't as lucrative as they used to be.
These episodes.
Does a lot of work. He's still doing a lot of things. Stampy, he has a gaming channel that he's still uploading on.
It's a gaming channel, but it's geared for kind of an older audience, I guess, than Stampy. Like, we still don't swear or anything on it. Like, don't get like that idea. Like, everything that I said earlier isn't thrown out.
Still no swearing. And also, even MatPat is still making
he's
stuff.
still gonna make videos.
I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really gonna dig. It's basically like
lo-fi
you took a
mystery
lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it. It becomes lore-fi.
But I think the reality is that when you start becoming a YouTuber, you have the dream of wanting to become a YouTuber, you just throw shit at the wall. Whatever it is, whatever creatively you are good at, or you think is funny or fun or helpful to the world, you just keep doing it. And eventually, if it works
pops
out,
off.
something sticks. I don't know what it is for every YouTuber, but MatPat had game theory. I for a while had playing games at a subpar level, and we kept doing those things. MatPat to a much greater degree, but you get the idea. When something sticks, you do it, you repeat it, and you do it on a regular cadence so that people know to come to expect it and will show up to watch it. You build a base of viewers. Yada, yada, yada. And you still got to innovate. You got to change throughout the times. Viewers will get old, stop watching YouTube. You need to appeal to new viewers. But that's the idea. You just keep running the same old simulation over and over. And I think at a certain point, YouTubers realize it's a bit draining. Because what is it all for, right? More views, Ludwig, more money, more fame. But what is that for? What's the point of getting more capital?
Then you
what
plateau.
Are you doing with the money? At a certain point, you're pretty set, right? I think MatPat has been pretty set for a while now. I feel like I've been set for a while now. I don't feel like I'm in the game of getting more money because I don't have a reason for. I don't know what I would do.
He still has his Christmas setup.
And then the fame part, that'll go away, and everybody knows it'll go away. And I think MatPat says it best himself right here.
When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done. Or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and
I agree with him. I think YouTubers nowadays saw the previous generation of YouTubers do the other way of quitting, where it is somewhat forced upon them because they kept doing the thing that made them successful. And then it started to fall off a bit. I'm sure you can think of some YouTubers who did this, a channel that maybe you used to watch, and then you looked up years later to see, oh, they're still doing the thing. It's just that people aren't watching them do the thing. And maybe in there is a couple of updates saying
I'm trying to think if I know
one, or that YouTube isn't as fulfilling anymore. And that's not the nicest way to end a career. It's kind of a sad way. It's not the best page to turn to in Goosebumps. And then you end up on the obituary page of Sunny V2. That's not, nobody wants this. I'm just saying, nobody wants
the
this.
downfall.
Maybe it is a bit selfish to want to be
Shots fired
for your work when you are at your peak, in creatively pushing the limits, as opposed to creating into maybe your decline. But I also think it makes sense. And quitting is one of the coolest things you can do. I mean, like truly quitting, deciding to quit on your own terms, Frank Sinatra, My Way type beat, is awesome. After you've achieved success, because it's also hard. When is the right time to quit? I find it incredibly scary just thinking of the idea of it. And when I first started streaming, when I had no viewers, I said I would quit within 5 years. At that point, I didn't realize what would happen in 5 years, but I figured I'd want to move on to some other shit. And I still do want to move on to some other shit.
Yeah,
I really want to open a bakery. I mean, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd be fulfilling.
That would be
I
a
think it'd help
good
my local community.
diversifying
is much more fulfilling
your
than the
portfolio.
endless pursuit of more money and more fame. For what? I'd rather have people around me have good bread. I think that's cooler. I think it's more important. But anyway, here's MatPat talking about
bread in America is trash.
And the fear of it.
Because change is scary. Change is hard. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision. The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF Part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is...
He has a big video game analogy here. It's definitely worth watching because MatPat is a well-spoken man. But I think the reality is that he's right. You just do keep doing the thing that works. And there's not really an exact point where you are supposed to quit, right? You know, there's just a line that you arbitrarily draw in the sand. It happens even with famous movie directors. Quentin Tarantino, 10 movies. Why 10? Could be 11, could be 13, but he's marked himself at 10. And that's just his line. And so this is MatPat's line, and eventually we will hit everybody's line. My line is going to come at some point. I'm still here for a couple of years because, you know, hey, I still like what I do, and it's going well, and I want Off-Brand to succeed. So, hey, I'm not announcing anything, but I will. I will one day. And it's not going to be in the too far distant future, and you might not even be watching me by then. This might be the last time we ever see each other. So I hope you have a good life, and I'm going to leave you with a quote from a fellow Ludwig Jacobowski, who had a quote that's usually misattributed to Dr. Seuss that says very simply, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because you have been." It was translated from German. It doesn't sound as nice, but you get the idea. Thank you all for watching, and shout out to MatPat's amazing career. And I'll see you guys next time. See you later. Goodbye. Goodbye. We're gonna keep doing the same thing forever now, forever for more views, forever. And I'll always be here forever for more views. Yes, forever. Subscribe. Yes, forever.
In one of my... That was Ludwig's video. Let me go back.
Today's a sad day.
I think he brought up some good points in the fact that you're probably not going to be able to be a Twitch streamer forever, especially in this fast-growing technological era. Like, we could think about like Vine creators, for instance, were a big thing back in the day. You know, when that app popped off, and they were making big sponsor deals and stuff, but that entire app went to poop. And he's probably right. Like, we used to get entertainment via silent film. We'll do silent film. Like, that was the big silent film era, and those actors. And those actors complained about modern actors, what they considered modern actors, because they're like, I had to act and convey my emotions and make it convincing enough that I couldn't cheat and just tell people what I'm feeling. Like, they had to see it, and they had to act it well enough that viewers perceived it and they understood what was going on in the scene. I just think the future hipster will discover you. Maybe that's a possibility, but I do feel like, yeah, live streaming maybe really has a lifespan. Maybe this won't be the thing anymore. It'll be some type of new way for influencers and creators, new platform or new media. So it's very possible that, yes, it is very much evident that this isn't going to be forever. Like, it's just not. I also think it's great that some creators, you know, do what they do, and it's important for them to get the quote-unquote bag, so that they can work really, really hard like they are, working 80 to 120 hours coming up with content a week, and then retire comfortably and, you know, do what they enjoy at a much relaxed pace, which I hope is the case for like MatPat and, you know, Scott and a lot of the other creators. I hope they get to retire and enjoy themselves. So, all right, so that's Ludwig's video. I thought I'd share it with you guys. As always, like and the comment, which helps these creators in the algorithm. Oops. YouTube will last forever. Smash. I know that's not true. Heavy Cat Types 3. Post that. And I will share this with you guys. If you guys don't already follow Ludwig's Mogul Mail channel, I highly recommend you do. He's part of the inspiration of how I've been doing some of my content, in which I do the single cut format, and I learned it from this guy. It's just that much easier to produce videos like this. It's all you have time for. It's all you have time for. Having a crazy video editor, not feasible for a lot of people. So we got to do what we can in the time we have. So, anyways, all right, there you go.